get this woman on American Idol. What is that? So, my understanding is that this year's theme is 50 years fierce. Is that right? Coincidentally, this year I am also 50 years fierce, although I tell people that I'm 39 years fierce. So, anyway, firstly, I want to give a shout out to your mayor, Mayor Derek Doby, who for the first time ever raised the pride flag above City Hall. Where are you, Mayor Doby? Fantastic. You know, this was also the very first year in the history of this state that we had our governor, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who raised the pride flag over at the Romney building right across from the state capitol. One of the biggest allies that we've ever had here in the state of Michigan, Governor Whitmer. But you know, almost immediately after that, there was a Republican that actually proposed a bill that would ban the flying of the pride flag on state buildings. And I said, you know what, lady, if I've had to put up with 50 years of discrimination against the LGBTQ community coming out of the state legislature, I think that you can spend one day staring at the pride flag. Just delicate little snowflake she is. Anyway, so as you know, I took office this year. I took over the AG's office from a guy by the name of Bill Schuette, perhaps one of the most homophobic, transphobic attorney generals that we've ever had in this state, and we replaced him with a big old lesbian. Because I ran for that office with the crazy notion that we are all Michiganders and we are all deserving of equal protection under the law. So first thing I did when I took office is I evaluated the pending cases. I took every single solitary case that he had signed Michigan onto that discriminated against gay people, that discriminated against bisexual people, that discriminated against trans people, and I withdrew us from those cases. And I signed on the opposite side. The next thing I did was settle a lawsuit that the ACLU had filed because the state was defending the policy of allowing state-funded adoption agencies to use our tax dollars to discriminate against same-sex couples and LGBTQ people. So we settled that lawsuit so that the state would have a new policy that forbids discrimination against same-sex couples and the LGBTQ community for state-funded adoption centers. Now I am being sued by those same adoption agencies, but I'd rather be sued for doing the right thing than be in court for doing the wrong thing. And when they threatened to sue me, I said, I got two words for you. Bring it. The next thing we did was to establish a hate crimes unit at the Department of Michigan Attorney General to protect the LGBTQ community and so many other marginalized communities, because hate crimes have now risen in this state over 30% just since Donald Trump took office. And now we have Nazis that sometimes march in our pride parades, which happened in Motor City this year when they came in to the Motor City Pride event. And I'll tell you what, you might think that you're going to be intimidated and threatening and assaulting people in the LGBTQ community, but I got a message for you. Not while I'm Michigan Attorney General, you're not. The next thing we did was we took care of a little outstanding matter where Bill Schuette had authored an AG opinion saying that our Civil Rights Commission could not investigate matters where LGBTQ people had been wrongfully terminated from their employment. And I came back and indicated to them, no, you go ahead and you start doing that right now, and I will defend your ability to do so. And so they are. So if you know a situation where someone has lost their job or been denied employment opportunities, please go ahead and make a complaint to the Civil Rights Commission. That's what they're there for, to help people who have been discriminated against. And the other thing I did is this. I filed a lot of lawsuits against the Trump administration. And I vowed that each and every time the federal government used its authority to discriminate against LGBTQ people here in Michigan, I would use that office to fight back. And so right now, you know, there's a case where we're suing the Trump administration, and more specifically the Department of Health and Human Services, because they issued a proclamation that insists that people in the medical community, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, even just receptionists who work in a doctor's office or in a hospital, can refuse to provide treatment to gay people, to trans people, to bi people, and if they are not permitted to do so, then the federal government will withhold federal funding to the state of Michigan. Can you imagine? Absolutely not. This is not the kind of behavior that we can tolerate from people who are in elected office. And my other thing is this: if you're a doctor, or you're a nurse, or you're a pharmacist, and you have a problem treating somebody for no other reason than they are a member of the LGBTQ community, then maybe you need to get a new job. And thank you. Turn around, if you will. I am not a second-class citizen. Everybody say it with me. I am not a second-class citizen. And now, we have a case that's pending before the United States Supreme Court that actually involves a trans woman from here in Michigan, in Garden City, that was fired from her job for no other reason than that she is trans. It's pending right now. My office filed an amicus brief on behalf of her and on behalf of the notion that nobody should lose their job just because they are LGBTQ. But these are perilous times in our nation and also in our state. We still don't have an Elliott Larson, a civil rights law that actually protects people based on sexual orientation or gender identity. And the reason is, even though we've made some great gains in this state and some great gains federally, it's not enough. It is not enough. So I will say this to you: have a great time at Pride and celebrate and dance and revel in who you are. But then come 2020, do me a favor, get involved politically and make sure that you are out there all day, every day, when you're talking to your friends and your family and your neighbors and your coworkers and the people you go to school with. Make this a litmus test. And for anybody that wants to hold elected office, say, if you consider me a second-class citizen, then you have not earned my vote. I love you too! So thank you very much for having me here today. It was a great honor to be Grand Marshal. I'm going to keep this, I'm going to run away with it because I really love it. So thank you, Carol, so much for making this for me. It's been really an honor and a privilege. And let's continue to have a great time and to celebrate who we are. And let's continue to fight for equal rights for everyone in the state of Michigan.